why couldn't you just text him? Why do you have to be on the phone with him? And why are you on the phone with him while your door is shut? The reason why your phone number is hooked up to my phone is so that way I can see what you're doing, and I don't know what you guys are talking about whenever you're up in your room alone with the door shut. He was like, we might as well just have him over and you might as well just go in the room with him while the door is shut. He was like, because that's just as bad. Marcus, that just doesn't make any fucking sense, does it now? So then he leaves. And 2 minutes later, he comes back with a drill and he takes my fucking door off. He removes my bedroom door. And if you thought that wasn't bad enough, think again. Because he also put a baby monitor in my room. Literally a fucking baby monitor so that way he could hear what I was talking about with these boys. So now, anytime that I had to get dressed, I would have to go and get changed in my bathroom, because also my bedroom was on the first floor and my mom always had her friends over. Like, I had no privacy whatsoever. Fast forward, I'm 15, I have a job and I'm doing my own hair, I'm doing my makeup, and I'm paying for my own shit so that way nobody can tell me what I can and can't spend my money on. But that didn't really last long, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because when I first started doing my hair, right, I was just blow drying it so that way I could get the little kinks out and so that way it would be, you know, a little bit straight. But then I bought a flat iron with the money I got from working, and I taught myself how to curl my hair. So, you know, I come downstairs the one morning after I just curled my hair and I'm ready to go to school, and he's like, what the fuck did you do to your hair? And I'm like, I curled it. And he's like, why? Who do you need to impress at school? Who do you need to impress? And then he's like, oh my god, I'm gonna need to start monitoring everything you're doing. He's like, this is ridiculous. Like, yeah, it definitely is. Can you fucking take a chill pill, please? So he made a big fuss about it, but he didn't exactly say that I had to stop curling my hair. So I kept curling my hair. I did it again the next day, and when he picked me up at school, he was like, we're going to get you a haircut. He was like, now that you know you're doing your hair, I don't want your hair to get damaged, so we need to keep it healthy. You don't want to get heat damage. And I'm like, oh, period. Okay, Marcus, you know your shit. Okay. He had never taken me for a haircut ever in my life. Nope. Like, my split ends literally were like probably risen up to like here. And my hair was like down to my butt. So, you know, I'm sitting there in the salon chair and I'm waiting for him. He's up talking to the stylist at the front desk. And then he comes over to me and he's like, take that off, get out of the chair, we're leaving. This place is so expensive for a fucking haircut. I'm like, all right, okay, whatever. So we're on our way home and he tells me that he's just gonna do it. He's like, we'll stop at the store, I'll get some hair cutting scissors real quick, and then, you know, I'll just cut your hair. Besides, we're only taking a little bit off, so it really won't matter. And obviously I'm scared as fuck because I'm like, okay, a grown-ass man who has never even touched a woman's hair in his life is telling me that he's gonna cut my hair, when yet he has all this money but doesn't want to pay for a fucking haircut for me. Okay. So we get home, he puts a chair outside and he puts a towel around me. So, you know, he starts cutting my hair and I hear a big chop. But he said that it's because he put the bottom of my hair in a ponytail so that way he could just cut it off that way. Well, no, that's not what he did. He tells me that he's done and he takes the towel off of me and I go to feel my hair and my hair is gone. Okay, not gone, but for me it was fucking gone. I stand up from the chair and I look down. Enough hair to make 4 fucking wigs is sitting on the floor, sitting on the driveway, the pavement. So I'm 5'5", right? My hair was grown out all the way to my ass, and now my hair is literally right above my shoulders, right there. It's not even either. So I am literally fucking bawling my eyes out. And you know what he says? I don't even think you want to know what he says because he's just like such a douche at this point. That's not even the word. Like, he's controlling as fuck. He's like, don't worry, we'll go get it fixed. But he said, I told you about how I felt with you curling your hair, and yet you did it anyways. You still want to curl your hair? That's fine, go ahead. But next time, I'm just gonna take the clippers and we're gonna shave your head. As you can imagine, I never curled my hair again after that. But we went to the same salon the day after to get my hair fixed. And the girl who was going to cut my hair the day before, she comes over to me and she's like, I am so sorry that he did that to you. He asked me to do that yesterday without telling you, and I told him that I wouldn't do it. So yeah, my haircut wasn't too expensive. It was just the fact that he wanted somebody else to chop off all my hair. So after that, obviously, I really only straightened my hair because if I would have curled it, it would have risen to like my freaking ears and I would have looked like a boy. But that didn't even matter if I curled it or not because I still looked like a fucking boy and I was getting made fun of for it in school. So, you know, that was that. And then I start buying my own clothes with my money. And you know, the one day I come downstairs and I am in a new outfit that I bought myself. So the one day I'm ready for school, I'm going downstairs to eat my eggs and toast when Marcus looks at me and he's like, what the fuck are you wearing? I was wearing a long sweater with a pair of leggings and a pair of booties. He's like, I don't know where you think you're going dressed like that. He was like, but it's definitely not school. He was like, you look like a fucking hooker. And I'm like, but my mom literally wears shit like this all the time. I was like, it's a sweater and leggings. He was like, first of all, your mother's a fucking adult and you're a child and I'm an adult too, and I say you go up to your room and you change your fucking outfit. Okay, so I go upstairs and I change into different clothes, but I also put those clothes in my book bag so that way I could change into them whenever I got to school. I swear, we're just like all out here living the same lives because I literally had to do that too. I would put jeans over my leggings and then I would take my jeans off the bus because I wasn't allowed to wear leggings to school. Yeah. Anyways, and I thought I got away with this because, you know, I came home and obviously before I left to go home, I had changed into my clothes that he thought I went to school in this morning. So, you know, I get home, I put those clothes in my dresser, and then I put the boots in my closet. Fast forward to the weekend, I asked Marcus if 2 of my friends could come over after I was done work, and he said yeah. So my mom came and picked my friends and I up. And you know, we walk in the front door and my mom's like, Marcus wants you to take down the hot dogs and stuff for s'mores. So, you know, I collect all of these things and my friends and I are walking down to the fire pit. And the fire pit's like a little bit in the back of like the field that was around our house. And you know, I go and I set it on the table and he's like, oh, the fire's looking a little bit low. Can you hand me that trash bag by the logs? And I'm like, sure. So I hand him the trash bag and he dumps it onto the fire. I feel like you guys already know. It is a bag of my clothes that I bought and shoes that I bought that he didn't like. He went through my closet and he went through my dresser and picked out every piece of clothing that he didn't like and he put it in a bag and then lit it on fire. And I'm literally standing there in shock, and then he grabs like that stuff to like make the fire bigger and he pours it on top. Yeah. So I turn around and I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? He's like, first of all, you're never gonna speak to me like that again. Second of all, I know you wore those clothes to school that I told you not to wear to school because I went into your room and they weren't in the dirty hamper, they weren't in your dresser, they weren't in your closet, and I couldn't find those shoes anywhere. And then he looks at my friends and like he looks them up and down because of like the outfits that they're wearing. And he was like, listen, I don't know how your friends' parents let them dress, but I'm not their parent, I'm yours, and you're not dressing like a slut. Oh no, he didn't say I'm not your friend's parents. He said, I'm not your friend's dad. I'm your dad. So to that, I replied, no the fuck you're not. And I literally ran into the house and locked myself in the fucking bathroom. I feel bad for my friends low-key because like that must have been awkward as fuck. But while I'm in the bathroom, I have like a mental breakdown. You know, a person can only take so much. And I decided after that, I didn't give a fuck about him grounding me or taking my things away anymore. So like an hour later, I'm guessing after my mom took my friends home, he literally breaks down the fucking door and he's like, you need to get out here and clean this shit up in the kitchen. Oh, and you owe me money for this door. And then he walks out of the bathroom. So fast forward, I'm pretty much doing whatever the fuck I want at this point. Like, I don't care. I'm dressing how I want. I'll come downstairs and I'll go into the fridge and I'll eat whatever the fuck I want. And instead of getting in the car for him to drive me to school, I would go and walk to the end of the street and get on the bus. Well, the first day after I did that, he literally put a lock on the fridge. I'm not even joking. There was a lock on the fridge and there was a lock on the pantries. And then he also told the school that they didn't need to have a bus stop at my street anymore because he was just gonna drive me to school and pick me up from school. Which he did that anyway, so I don't even know why there was a fucking bus stop at my house. But because nobody really lived on the street that I lived on, I had my own bus stop, so he was able to do that. And every time that I would come into school in an outfit that he didn't like, I would put it in the dirty clothes and he would cut it up or burn it. And after school every day he would be waiting to pick me up. So instead, I just started leaving school early. Like, I really was like done with the bullshit. Like, I really fucking was. So then I had to have a security guard start walking me to and from my classes to make sure that I wasn't skipping class and I wasn't leaving early. And then in the middle of the night, I would sneak out and I would just go do random shit because I still had no friends. And eventually he literally boarded up my window. Like, I'm talking boarded up my windows, and he put locks on the outside of my bedroom door. He took my phone away, and he would do this every day that I came home. I would have to go and be locked in my bedroom every single fucking day. I lived in that room every single day of the summer. Like, I literally wish I was over exaggerating or joking. It was like solitary confinement in my fucking house. Like, I was literally treated like a prisoner. I had no phone. He would literally bring my meals up to my room, and I never had to leave the room because I had a bathroom in my bedroom. He sometimes would bring books for me to read. Okay guys, so quick trigger warning, I am about to mention self-harm. So if that makes you uncomfortable in any way, you can skip to this part of the video right now. So I go to my bathroom and I grab one of my razors and I cut myself. Now, no, this was not because I had depression or anything like that, you know. I did it right before he brought my dinner into me, so that way he could see that I was bleeding and that I needed medical attention, so he would have to take me out of this fucking room. So he comes in with my dinner and I am standing there with blood leaking from my arm onto the carpet, and he looks at me and just leaves the room, and then he comes back with a first aid kit. He grabs me by my shoulder and pushes me into the bathroom, grabs my arm, puts it over the sink, and pours ISO on it. It literally fucking hurts so bad. Oh my god. And then he wraps it with an ace bandage. And then he also tells me to give him all of my razors, which obviously I wasn't gonna give them all to him. So he made me stand in the corner of my bathroom while he went through my bathroom and my bedroom looking for things that I could hurt myself with. He literally took all of my shoes so that way I couldn't use the shoelaces as something to choke myself with. And then after he does that, you know, collects all the sharp objects and shit, he goes over to the door and looks at me and he's like, "Eat your dinner," and then shuts the door. So fast forward to my sophomore year, I literally had no friends. I felt like a caged animal that was just thrown back out into the wild because, like I said, I was kept in a room for 3 months straight without any contact to anyone. My mom didn't talk to me, Marcus didn't talk to me, nothing. Everyone in school thought that I was weird because all I would wear was overalls and rain boots, and my hair always looked like shit. And my friends, you know, the ones that were there whenever he burned all of my shit, they pretty much told everybody what happened. And you know those people who just like love drama, so they have to just like add things into a situation that happened that weren't even true to make it juicier. Yeah, well, they told everybody that my stepdad was hitting on them and that I tried to talk them into getting with my stepdad. You know, I love this quote that's like, it goes like this: "You talk about me because nobody listens when you talk about yourself, period." I fucking love that quote because it's so true. The people who literally have to gossip about everybody to anybody, that is the only way that people will listen to you. Eventually, I ended up making one friend in school, and we would only really talk to each other because we were both outcasts and we both didn't have any fucking friends. But we started talking a lot in school and we eventually started dating. Now, obviously, we would only see each other during school and we would only talk during school. But Marcus, my mom, and I ended up moving into a new house. So I didn't have boarded up windows anymore or locks on the outside of my doors. And since I was following the rules lately, he didn't have a reason to do all of the shit that he did in the other house to this house. He said I can think of it as my fresh start. Like, wow, thank you. I was such a bad person. I'm so happy that you're gonna give me a fresh start. How about you take that fresh start and shove it up your ass? So eventually my mom and Marcus end up having some problems, okay? My mom flew home for a week, and by home I mean my hometown. And Marcus had suspicions that she was seeing my dad. Well, because of this, Marcus started drinking a lot, and now he would literally punish me for doing nothing. And when he would get angry, he would take shit out on me. Like the one time I'm in the kitchen doing dishes and he is sitting at the table in the kitchen and he's trying to call my mom, and her phone went to voicemail. By the second time, he was so angry, he slammed the phone on the table, grabbed the glass cup that was next to him and threw it at the cupboard that was literally right next to my head. And then he's like, clean this shit up right now. So a week goes by, I try calling my mom because now I want to see what the fuck is going on. I'm tired of this bullshit. I don't want to be around him anymore. And a week turned into a few weeks, and a few weeks turned into a month. And Marcus and I still haven't heard anything from her. I asked him about it the one time and he got really mad, like so mad that he made me get out of the car and walk the rest of the way home. I had to walk an hour home from a doctor's appointment that he took me to. Well, the one night he decides that he's gonna take a flight back home to see my mom, to see what the fuck she's doing there. So he left me alone. So since I'm home alone, I invited my boyfriend to come over, and I felt like I was living a normal life. Like before school, I would go downstairs and I would eat what I wanted in the morning. I would wear what I wanted and I would get on the bus. And you know, sometimes my boyfriend and I would go to the park after school. You know, he was actually able to take me on a first real date. So life was great for 2 weeks. Well, the one night my boyfriend's over and you know, we're watching a movie. We ended up falling asleep on the couch while the movie's playing. And all of a sudden I hear the front door open and I hear my mom and Marcus arguing. And I never heard them argue because anytime that they were angry with each other, they would just take a drive and they would argue because they said they didn't want me to be around that toxicity. Okay. Well, it was past 9 o'clock and Marcus heard the TV going, so he flies down the fucking hallway into the living room and he sees my boyfriend and I sitting on the couch, sleeping, watching TV. I mean, at this point, I'm awake. And he's just staring at us and my boyfriend is still sleeping. So he comes over to the couch, he grabs my boyfriend by the neck and slams him onto the ground and starts beating the actual shit out of him. My 16-year-old boyfriend, who is so sweet and innocent, literally wouldn't hurt a fucking fly. He's 5'7" and 115 fucking pounds. Well, my boyfriend is literally bleeding from all over his face now. His face is swelling up already. And my mom is just standing in the doorway watching. And I'm literally looking at her and I'm like, aren't you gonna call the fucking cops? And then, you know, I go to grab Marcus, like to try and pull him off, and he just fucking pushes me back. I fall onto the coffee table and Marcus looks up and he's like, if either one of you call the cops, you'll be next. So then he gets up and he walks away from my boyfriend, and you know, I go over and I don't even know what to do. Like I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I grab the blanket to try and like stop some of the bleeding, you know, and like I'm just kind of sitting there looking at him, and then you know, I start to pat his pants to see if, you know, his phone is on him so I can call 911. And while I'm doing that, you know, I'm looking down and Marcus comes into the room and he shoots my boyfriend in front of me. Yes, he does. After that, my mom comes up behind him with a liquor bottle and smashes it over the back of his head, and he, you know, knocks out. We get into the car. My mom called the police. I mean, it's a little too fucking late now, but I was very heartbroken over the situation, obviously. After that, my mom and I went to go stay at one of her friend's house, and she forced me to go to school for the next few days after that, and the rumor going around school was that I murdered my boyfriend. After that situation, my mom and I went back to my hometown, and I guess when my mom went away, she was helping my dad because she was the only one who like had proof of Marcus shooting those people and not my dad. And the whole reason why I guess she cut off contact with Marcus was so that way he would go up there to get her and the police would just arrest him there. Yeah. Marcus is in jail. Somehow my dad got out of jail. which doesn't make sense because he had like a lot of other charges. And I hate my mom. I hate her.